Yo, what is good, Knicks Nation? Welcome back to Knicks Media. This is Richie, and we got a report from SNY, and we also got a report from Woj that is talking about Bradley Beal potentially being traded in the offseason. Now, Bradley Beal has been linked to the Knicks probably, it feels like, every offseason, and it doesn't seem like the Wizards had any intel of trading Bradley Beal, and according to Woj, that could be happening. So now in this video, I want to give you guys my thoughts of if the New York Knicks should consider pursuing Bradley Beal in the offseason. We all know that the New York Knicks have all the assets possible in order to bring in a star in a trade with all the draft picks and the young players. But the question is Bradley Beal a player that you would want the New York Knicks to use all those assets on? The one thing about Bradley Beal that you got to consider when trading for him is his contract is lucrative. It is $251 million contract that he signed in the summer of 2022. And in this article from SNY, written by the great Ian Begley, he says that the Knicks actually internally discussed Bradley Beal as a trade option during the season. So it seems like the New York Knicks are definitely interested in Bradley Beal. Now the question is, are they really going to go all in the offseason to try to bring him to New York City? So let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section, guys. If you guys want Bradley Beal, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up button as well and subscribe to the channel if you're new. My name is Richie, and I cover the New York Knicks here on Knicks Media, and I got a lot of interesting, awesome content coming your way all throughout the rest of the offseason, of course, carrying over into the season when we kick things off. So let's get into my thoughts. But before we do that, I want to read this article. And if you guys want to check out the article yourself, I'll link it down below in the description. So from Ian Begley, he writes, Washington Wizards guard Bradley Beal is one of the biggest names said to be available via a trade this offseason, and the Knicks could be a potential suitor. Sources tell SNY NBA insider Ian Begley that Beal was one of the high-profile shooting guards the Knicks discussed internally during the season as a trade option this summer. ESPN's Woj on Wednesday that with rivals already reaching out to the Wizards to discuss the possibility of a Beal trade, Washington team president Michael Winger and Beal's agent are, quote, staying in close contact to discuss scenarios. Beal's 29 years old and has been the subject of trade rumors for quite some time, and despite signing a 5-year, $251 million contract extension last summer, those rumors have not gone away. So it's obvious that there is a chance that Beal does get traded, but you also have to keep in mind, and Begley said it here, that Beal's name has been in the offseason of trade rumors, it feels like every single season. So there's a chance that he doesn't even get traded and he sticks with the Washington Wizards. But let's get into my thoughts of Bradley Beal as a player and his fit with these New York Knicks. Now, contract aside, financials aside, just talking ball here, talking basketball, fit with this team. You can argue that Jalen Brunson and Bradley Beal would be an absolute fantastic backcourt for years to come. I mean, that is one of the best 1-2 punches you can argue, offensively speaking. Go out there, get a bucket. We saw what Jalen Brunson brings to the table, especially when the pressure's up a lot in the playoffs. We haven't really seen a lot of Bradley Beal in the playoffs simply because the Washington Wizards just haven't been a good franchise, and they have not been in the postseason with Bradley Beal a lot. And I think that if you look at it from that perspective, the backcourt of Brunson and Beal, offensively speaking, pretty darn dynamic. Now, defensively, I'm not too sure if I'm happy about the defensive side of the ball, but this is a modern-day NBA where you got to be able to have scores. You got to be able to have multiple ball-dominant players that can go get a bucket, and that's what the Knicks were missing in the playoffs when Jalen Brunson felt like he was doing it all because Julius Randle was not stepping up to the plate, and all the other guys were a little inconsistent around Jalen Brunson in the NBA playoffs. Now, if you look at it from a trade standpoint, what are the type of players, what are the type of draft picks the Knicks would have to sacrifice? Obviously, you got to talk about first-round picks that the Knicks have a lot of that we don't have to worry about it in the future. We have so many draft picks to the point where we can't even build through the draft. We want to trade those away, but when it comes to the young players, right, Emmanuel Quickley, he's due for a contract extension this offseason. Will the Knicks give him that? Obi Toppin, another player that is eligible for a contract extension. A lot of Knicks fans are really, at the pitchforks out. Trade Julius Randle. Will Julius Randle be traded in a blockbuster trade this offseason? Other young guys like Quentin Grimes. Obviously, R.J. Barrett is a name you got to consider. Mitchell Robinson. The New York Knicks, they have a lot of young talent, and they got to figure out which players are they willing to sacrifice to bring in a star like a Bradley Beal. Now, again, Bradley Beal, I'm not like all in on him. I'm not thinking of Bradley Beal and I'm like, yes, go all in, go grab him. He would make this Knicks team a difference maker because of that contract is really lucrative. I don't know if I've seen enough of Bradley Beal to really feel like he can carry a team because he's been a great player on a bad team, and he was not able to carry that Wizards team himself. We saw the Wizards be decent this year. Kristaps Porzingis was there, Kyle Kuzma was there, but at the end of the day, Bradley Beal just hasn't really proved to be a winner. Jalen Brunson has. Jalen Brunson came here and he brought this Knicks team to the playoffs as the 5th seed, getting into the second round, taking the Heat to game number 6. But the question is, can Bradley Beal and Jalen Brunson be that backcourt to really elevate this Knicks team over that hump? And say we keep RJ Barrett and we got Brunson, Beal, RJ. Say we somehow keep Julius Randle and Mitchell Robinson. We got a starting 5 of Brunson, Beal, RJ, Randle, Mitchell Robinson, and the trade includes maybe a Grimes or a Quickly and Fournier and another player plus draft picks. I don't know. Maybe you got to give up Randle and then you elevate Obi Toppin as a starting power forward, but I just don't know if the Knicks are going to be able to trade Julius Randle because it's a really hard thing to do, and I know a lot of Knicks fans want to do it, and I'm not saying I'm against it, but I'm just saying from a standpoint of it really being a complicated trade to pull off, it really is. And I know some Knicks fans, and I got to bring this up because we are talking about the Wizards, are interested in Kristaps Porzingis coming back to New York. Now, that's a whole other conversation. I'm not going to get too deep into that topic here, but I don't know. I don't really know how I feel about Kristaps coming back home in this era of physicality of basketball in the playoffs. You saw in the playoffs how much physicality it requires to win. I don't know if Kristaps can hang, keep up with a full playoff run because, hey, we're trying to win championships here, and you got to get through 3 rounds of the postseason, getting into the finals. I don't know if Kristaps can handle that, but he is a good basketball player, of course. I like what he's doing in Washington. But, yeah, that's my overall thoughts of this news and of the overall, perception that Bradley Beal could be on the move this offseason. The New York Knicks have internally discussed a potential trade for Beal during the season. So you definitely have to assume that the New York Knicks are talking about it again because this is a really pivotal offseason for these New York Knicks, being able to make the playoffs this past season, getting into the second round. Now the Knicks got to get past that second round this upcoming season. We got to reach for the Eastern Conference Finals. We got to reach for the NBA Finals and, dare I say, win a championship. And the Knicks got the foundation. They got the assets. They got a star in Jalen Brunson to build around. Now it's up to these New York Knicks to weigh all their assets to figure out which stars are available, which stars do we pursue. And Bradley Beal's not going to be the only star that's going to be potentially available to trade for in the offseason. Karl Anthony Towns is rumored to be traded. There's somehow Knicks are still connected to Donovan Mitchell. Now, I don't see that happening this offseason, but there's still some rumblings about the Knicks being interested in Donovan Mitchell down the line. Obviously, Chris Paul's name is being thrown around. I don't know how I feel about that personally. Joel Embiid, apparently people are looking an eye on for him. Damian Lillard. There's a lot of stars that could be available for these New York Knicks in the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned. Hit that thumbs up button if you guys enjoyed. And don't forget to comment your thoughts if you want Bradley Beal on the New York Knicks. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace and love. As always, let's go Knicks.